Um, Crazy night, huh?
Yeah. I
So
think
Cal,
I'm
hold
just
on.
holding my wrist while I'm talking to him.
Okay. So Cal and Rakana, but as you exit the Rusty Dragon, you see Rose and Forrest making their way, just right down the road to seem to be out of town. Um, but so go ahead and continue with the conversation. So you said you're holding the wrists. Yep.
Yeah, I'm just holding my wrist. I'll tell Forrest I never meant to put you in any danger. Maybe I jumped and assumed something else, but she didn't seem normal to me.
No apologies are necessary. I made my decision in the moment. I would do it again.
I just don't like the feeling of being trapped.
I I guess when she says that, something like clicks with in Forrest's head, and he just nods solemnly, and then he'll ask. I guess he'll try to derail the conversation. Just, so where are you from?
Sorry. I just heard you come here often. That's fine.
No, not like that. Stop it.
That's how I heard it.
All right. So he's asking you where you hail from.
Hmm. Kind of like a
Mm,
"What's your story" type of thing.
um, question to Pouty.
I mean, you.
Do I know exactly where?
Yeah. Of course you do. You're very familiar with where you come from.
I don't think I wrote it down exactly where.
Oh well, I like I so like sort of out of character for a moment. My guess, right, would be you tell me. I guess the question is like my thought process is that there would be some vagueness, right, to your
Yeah.
answers. Yeah. To where it's small town. You're not really sure where it is in relations to where you are right now.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what I was gonna say. Okay.
Yeah. And like the name of the town's not important necessarily, right? More the community, how big it is, those types of things. So it's just a small,
Yeah, I
you know,
come from somewhere pretty far, to be honest. When they captured me and shipped me to where we were, I kind of lost track of exactly where we are right now. So
multiple days that you were on the boat.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Uh, but where I come from, family is very important, and uh, I do miss my family, especially my sister.
Um, I'll go. Family is a precious thing. I hope you find your way back to them.
Hope so too. What about you?
I have one family, and that is my buddy.
Your bear?
Yes.
Where did you find him?
I found him after the morning after my life was changed. We've been together ever since.
What changed your life? It seems like a big deal.
I've already explained the what happened to my village, to Mar, or to Rose, right? I
I don't
thought I
recall.
did.
Was that? It was me that was there?
Yeah, because I had you. Yeah, I had you help me read the papers
right,
on the
the papers.
Parasha.
Oh
Right.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
where I explained that.
Rose has pristine memory, by the way, unlike Mar. So I knew that 100%. I
Right.
was just making sure
Yeah,
everyone
yeah,
else knew that. So
yeah,
okay,
yeah. So yeah, you already know that.
okay.
You've heard the Forrest's tragic backstory already. But some similarities. Cal and Rakana, did you follow or are you
Cal
Just-
did for sure.
okay?
Yeah, I'll follow at a distance and kind of chat with Cal, like trying to get more details about what happened.
Yeah, Cal, I'm curious from your perspective, what happened last night.
Well, what do I remember? I was woken up by Rose with fire on my shoulder,
Oh,
and Forrest laying in the bed next to me.
that's very strange.
Yes. Upon getting hurt by said fire, I instinctively threw a fist at Rose. And then she went on to explain how we need to leave town. Or she feels we need to leave town. Not feeling safe, feeling way into over our heads.
That, yeah, I can get that.
I can as well.
But then you went back to sleep?
I did. I tried to roll out a bedroll, and then I found myself in the bed.
This all seems very strange.
I agree. That is why I want to talk with them and figure out more.
For your part, Rakana, you got a wonderful night's sleep or wonderful morning's sleep, and didn't hear any of it.
Yeah. But, I feel like Rakana, she was at the camp for a while, and she probably knew Rose for a while.
Sure.
And I think she feels that she trusts Rose a lot.
Sure.
Especially because we did end up escaping with her. And she doesn't like the thought of people casting magic on her without her knowing.
Sure.
Like,
It's whether or not it was cast on you or the building itself, but sure, either way, under the effects of said magic,
Yeah.
without your knowledge, sure.
And especially because, she's right. We don't know very well where we are. We don't know if anything's still coming after us. If we had to wake up because we were under attack and none of us could wake up, that's bad.
That's a
very
problem.
bad.
I agree. That's why I tried to sleep in the bedroll.
Cool. Okay, well, never mind.
And to know that you tried to fight it and still were lured back into the comfortable position, it's just like, ugh, this whole thing weirds me out.
So, like, at the beginning of the conversation, Hal told you upon being attacked, he did wake up.
That's true, but that means an assassin could go around and kill each of us one at a time, and no one would wake up to help each other.
It would require an assassin getting into the room, but yes.
Through the open window.
Well,
Because I had
Or-
banged the door
or
and made
through
tons
the
of noise,
door.
and no one woke up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a
Mhm.
bunch of noise did not wake us up.
that
A
is,
roaring bear didn't wake anything.
that's absolutely correct. The noise of your trusted companions did not arouse you. That is correct. There's, well, okay, yep. That's it's fine. I'm not trying to dissuade you from whatever your thought process is. I'm just I want to make sure that I'm being clear in terms of my descriptions. That's all.
I plan on following them till they stop somewhere.
Okay.
I don't know about you.
Yeah, I'd much rather
Like
stick
I could
together
get
at
up
least
to
a bit.
them. I could get up to them if I pleased. They seem to be talking. Let them talk.
Yeah, and we're not hiding or anything. If they want us to come talk, then
Sure.
they'll let us know.
Forrest and Rose, is there any additional subjects of conversation you'd like to make sure we cover?
Yeah. I would ask Rose about her sister.
What would you ask exactly?
Just, oh, you have a sister. Is she, how, like, what is she like? Are you close? Yada, yada, yada.
Think Rose would be looking off into the distance, not anymore at Forest. She's a lot like me. I'm white furred, but she has black fur. And she has white horns. And we're really close. I'd do anything for my sister, that's for sure. It's been a long time since I've seen her. I think she would have loved your bear.
And at this point, because now we're out in the forest, right?
Yep.
All right. Could I call
Yeah.
Could I call Smokey?
Sure.
Yay! Then I'll reunite with Smokey, and he'll give me a giant
Bear hug.
bear hug. Yes.
Yes.
Nice.
And I'll scritch him behind the ear, and he'll roll over for belly rubs.
Okay. Fabulous. Fabulous. Basically, all that happens exactly as described.
And say, "Oh, who wouldn't love my bear?"
I
Yeah.
think.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, nice. Good. I think Rose would kind of like laugh a little, and then she'd turn and see or make eye contact with the two of them that are following
Sure.
us.
Yep.
And I'd probably say, "Hey, I'm sorry for hurting you. I was just trying to wake you up," and then I kind of like explain what I explained to Forrest. I would never want to put you all in danger. I was just trying to make sure we were safe.
Sorry for punching you.
It's fine. Sure, if it was the other way around, I would have reacted the same way.
I'll look at Rakana and go, "The orc with the iron grip."
Wait,
Yes.
what?
That's right. I don't think you've
I'm
told her that.
also looking at Rakana and Forrest kind of back and forth. What?
Did what happened?
Always damage. Always with phrasing, man.
Oh no.
I'll be right back. Go ahead and continue your.
I guess
Wanna
I'll just
explain to her
ask.
what happened.
Yeah, I'll just ask. So you don't remember anything from last night?
Nothing. I slept well. I didn't hear anything. Sounds like I missed a lot.
So what are we thinking? Do you think we should stay here, or we should help them solve whatever weird thing is happening in their tombs? Or that we should move on?
Well, I feel like we're well suited for figuring out what went wrong, but and we
I
could use
fear
that
if
an
we go,
excuse to leave.
I fear if we go much farther, we're going to be too far in. We can't get out. That's the options we have to weigh.
Hmm.
I look to Rose. I understand being paranoid. I used to be in a very unsavory job. Let's
I
say
would
I wasn't.
I'd probably interject there and defend Rose. Um, call it what you want, but she acted to save us.
I would have done the same.
I think she was in the right.
I do as well. The thing is, I used to be not very well liked. We'll say that. I got out of that business out of sheer fear.
And what business is that? I am a man of the wilds. I would not judge.
You might, but regardless, I don't care. I used to shake down people. I used to off the road, never in a town.
A bandit?
I just nod.
It's a way of life.
It was the only way I could leave home. I took it. After being in it for a while, I left. Out of, I don't know. And after a while being on my own, I ended up at the camp. I understand paranoia, is all I'm trying to get about.
Mm. You got caught? That's how you landed there?
No. That is an entirely different story.
What happened?
Took what I thought was a normal job for just escorting a merchant between towns. Something went missing, I got blamed.
Hmm.
And next thing I knew, I was there.
I guess I'm just worried if we make a name for ourselves or continue in
We
one place for too
already
long.
have.
Yeah, that we might be dragging more attention, and so my instincts say we should stay on the move. But there are a lot of us, so not sure what everyone else wants to do.
Well, my goals do not end at this town. But the question is, if we leave, where do we go?
Another wise question.
Didn't we
Where do
see a
we
map?
go?
Didn't we see a map in the
There
out of
was a
character
map.
in the room where we? I think Danny
Back
saw
at,
it.
Well,
back at
everyone was
Foxglove's.
looking at it.
Yes.
I just don't know where that map is.
Back at Foxglove's townhouse.
Well, I know where the map is in character, like in game, but I don't know where if it's. Yeah, it's not in our the handouts.
It.
Oh wait, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Verizia, Cradle of Legends.
Yep.
And then don't read.
Don't read any of the stuff
text.
below it.
Yep.
Yeah. I think we should talk to the rest of the group and figure out what the plan is here, so we don't. So at least we're all agreed whether or not we're going to stick together and stay here, or what everyone wants to do.
We should bring Shayless with us when we go.
I second that option.
Where the fuck did you come
I had
from?
like there's like a passing thought that sounded like Shion's voice.
Yeah.
And I just pushed aside and
You mean
wondering
Blondie's
where
voice.
that came
It's
from.
like my brain went to like, holy shit, Blondie's here. Where the fuck did Blondie come from?
Yeah. I'm
He
not
was just
the-
latched to Rakana's back
Not again.
like a spider monkey.
Not again.
All
Yeah, so this
hopped up
is
a Mountain Dew.
Yeah, so do you have a map of the local area?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, back. Sorry.
That's all right.
I went to get water and got waylaid on the way by my mom, who's apparently trying to build a shelf by herself. Anyway. She's like, help me! And I'm like,
Okay.
Okay then.
Um,
Well, we know that there's the city to the west. There might be more opportunities there. Or were you just trying to avoid cities in general?
Or kind of what you were saying before. I think Cal was saying it. If solving this, whatever's happening to this town involves us going somewhere else, we can still do that. As long as we're just being aware of our surroundings. I'm sure Bethania's a tolerable person, but I don't know how safe I feel staying there, knowing that
there are
I
other
can't really
inns.
get up.
Safety
Yeah.
is relative.
Mm-hmm.
Depends on the person.
Yeah, so
That too.
We could go to another inn. We could camp out here.
Or you could have a conversation. It's another. If you're maybe talk about your
Well,
concerns.
before last night, I had always slept in the forest. Safe.
Wilderness is not always safe. I've had to fight a few things that have come up unannounced.
But we have a large group. We could trust each other to take watch.
yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yep. We need to get more bedding if we are going to camp outside of town.
Also true. We should go talk to the rest of them about it, though.
I agree, but yes, not being able to wake up when necessary is a problem.
I'm okay with heading back so we can speak to them. Thank you, Forrest.
And I'll just smile and nod. And I'll let Smokey like do the dog thing where they keep pushing the hand with their head
Sure.
so
Oh,
that
cute.
try to keep Rose petting his head.
All right,
Got
I'm
it.
here.
And I use produce flame and I burn him alive. No,
Oh my
kidding.
god.
I-
Shit!
oh, is there another combat going on here? First thing I come
I'm
back to.
joking.
Yeah.
No.
Pretty much.
Okay.
So cute.
The
You know-
form of a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Oh, here it is.
Yeah.
Not
There's
yet.
T-Rex.
Not yet. You gotta wait
I've
for
been
that.
waiting for this day.
You don't have that yet.
Would Forrest even know what a
Cadence
T-Rex
comes-
looks like?
Cadence
Cadence-
comes from the heavens to ride him.
From
as-
the heavens, my guy.
Killed off another PC. Oh boy.
He descends on a big musical note, just kind
Yes.
of floating.
Singing
Just
a
like-
ballad.
Right. Yeah. Oh god, I've got the.
Then we finally get to hear him sing. I know he's been dying to sing for us.
Mm-hmm.
Basically.
Oh
that.
God!
Yep.
Of course it's Jack Black.
Okay, so the four of you have your little forest conversation, and those of you who are back at the Rusty Dragon, so we'll say that there's enough time that passes that there's an opportunity where Bethania would go up to the room with Gib and Xian, or if you'd like, would you prefer to have it? She offers to go up to your room, or she'll invite you back to the kitchen, and you can have it there.
Sorry, what?
Bathanya, Gib, and Blondie have asked Bathanya for. I guess you don't even know about what happened with her, right? So essentially, Bathanya's been. It has been seen that has some sort of clockwork underneath her skin, and that her
she's an
outward
automaton?
appearance.
Okay.
Yeah, her outward appearance appears to be an illusion at the very least, and potentially, more than that. But that both Lucian and Forrest claimed that when Rose used electric arc on her, that they were able to see, past the skin to something that Forrest was only able to describe it as metal, right? Whereas Lucian,
moving metal. Yep.
yeah, was a little bit more aware that it was like clockwork type of mechanical workings, essentially.
Gotcha.
And so Gib and Blondie have asked for an opportunity to ask additional questions and or find out more about what exactly is going on with her. So, and
So,
that she's basically offering to invite you back into the kitchen where you can have the conversation in peace and quiet, or she'll go up to the room with you guys.
So Gib has no preference. It doesn't matter where.
Okay.
I'll say we should probably go to one of the rooms just to make sure that we're not in the way of the kitchens.
Okay. She assures you that wouldn't be a problem, but that's no, but if you're more comfortable in the room, that's fine. She'll take you up to the room. Do you want to go to the left room or the right room?
Probably the left one, because the right one's still damaged, and I'd probably feel embarrassed on my party's behalf.
Okay. So the door opens, and the two of you enter. And Bathanya asks if she can come in.
I'll say
Yeah,
of course,
sure.
but do you need permission to enter or something like that?
Yes. When these are your rooms, nobody is able to enter without your permission.
I see. So like magically. So
then she's walks into the room, tells you that you may have noticed that the rooms are. This building, right, is it is a magical place, right? You would call it that. That's how most people would refer to it. We always endeavor to make certain that our guests are safe here, and part of that security is when a room is given to somebody, they are imprinted on the room. And they're able to come and go as they please, but others need permission of a dweller to enter.
Interesting.
You had additional questions about me that you wanted answered. How can I help?
How are you created, and are you sapient, or like, just tell me about yourself.
Are you alive?
Yeah, so she says that she has, she has what would be considered free will, right? She was designed with a purpose, but sort of her original form did not have free will, and it was very strict sort of guidelines that she needed to follow. She doesn't talk in terms of specifics as far as what those were, but she basically says that after the person who created her was destroyed, she was sort of listless and alone, at which point Amiko found her, and she found that she maintained many of her powers while also having the ability to have free will, but she was basically anchorless in the world, and that Amiko really gave her a new purpose. And part of that, what she enjoys doing is making people feel at home. And so that's why she tells you, probably the best way for you to understand it is that she's able to see the places that people call home, and then is able to access sort of a knowledge database as far as where those places are, the types of spices that they use in the food, the familiar sort of culinary things from that area, and then is able to approximate and sometimes duplicate those sort of regional recipes and/or food tastes for people.
So between her creation and Amico, her purpose changed.
Yeah, she went from having a very strict guideline to where she didn't realize, like, once her master was destroyed, she thought that she would no longer be able to function, and she was sort of wandering. And when Amiko came across her, uh, she realized that she could find a new person to serve. Um, and she was happy that it was Amiko because she was pleasant and nice, and was trying to build something of her own, which Bathania found interesting. But before, it seemed like there was always a instructions being given. Now it's more of a general, hey, look, this is our mission, right? Our mission is to create this place that makes people comfortable and keeps them safe. And yeah, that's where she agreed to do that. And part of how she's done that is through some of the safety measures that she's put in place to uh, keep people safe in the end. She says that Amiko, has tasked her with keeping the people safe. Hasn't necessarily asked her how she does it, but has asked her to keep everybody safe. She kind of holds out her right arm, and you see that it's very clear that the skin's not actually skin, right? Because it kind of like flickers for a minute and then just completely fades away, and you just see that her outward appearance is more illusionary than it is. It's not like a physically there. So it kind of like flickers for a minute, and you can see like all these gears and stuff like that kind of moving under her skin, and then a minute later the illusion's back, and she looks just like a normal halfling.
Interesting.
She says, essentially both her and Amiko agreed that it would be safer for her because she's the only, nobody's ever heard of somebody like her before in these parts for sure. It would be safer for her to appear this way, to avoid, confusion, misunderstanding, things of that nature.
So
Well,
do you need food, or what kind of energy source is it that you use?
She says that she basically has a core that she's not entirely sure how it works, but she doesn't require, food or anything like that. She does mention that the jolt from your friend last night seemed to really, it said it made her feel better than she felt, temporarily. but it definitely gave her some more energy. So she's probably going to do some experimentation in some of her time, but she doesn't require sleep or food or anything like that. But it's clear that like whatever the energy was that Rose deployed on her, actually, was beneficial to her.
Supercharged.
Yeah.
So and what was the purpose of your fight with our group mates?
Yeah, so she says she's not entirely sure herself, but Rose seemed to have taken exception to the fact that when I came after I asked to be let in, they let me in,
And then attacked.
and then no, I remember very specifically that right before she attacked me, I put my hand on her friend and said that she was exhausted and needed her sleep. And at that point, Rose attacked me, and then the what you have to understand is that, and I hope that you'll feel better about this, but the room has defense mechanisms in place. Both of your rooms do. So like this window, and she kind of points over to the window. The window just seems open to create the feeling of fresh air and pleasant noises and all these other kinds of things. But I can assure you that nobody can get in. Similarly, when there was a aggressive, she doesn't even call it an attack, right? She kind of, it's sitting there doing some sort of calculation, and then she says, when the aggressive nature of your friend made itself known, the room basically defended me, right? But while simultaneously making sure to not harm your friend either. She can understand why people might not like that, and if there's although she does not seem to be able to comprehend why somebody would take exception to the enchantments that are kind of placed within the rooms, because they, as far as she's concerned, very sort of logically that they're there for your protection, and there's really no way for for anybody to manipulate that. And so she doesn't understand why somebody would take exception to it.
Okay, but I have one more question about this. And you said the enchantment and the rooms are enchanted to give security to the tenants or guests.
Yes.
But when last night happened, the room protected you over the guests, right?
Well, what she would say is that the room protected everyone, right? Whereas when it sensed that somebody was being hostile, but the person who was being hostile was one of the people in the room. I didn't actually attack anybody, right? She says that she made no, I just tried to help your friend up, right? So she's referring to Lucian, right? I tried to help him up and get him back in bed. And when your other the jolt from your friend did have an unforeseen effect on me, where when your large friend tried to grab me, I did, it did kind of shock him and then throw him off of me. But I don't think, she's like, I've never experienced this before, where a resident has tried to attack me. That's a new one for me. But I was pleased in how the room performed, in that it just tried to get everybody into a safe position. I don't know if your friends, meaning, referring to Forrest and Rose, I'm sure that they weren't happy with the fact that they were being restrained, but I would hope that they would tell you that they were left unharmed and frankly healed of any, ailments they may have had, long before they woke up. But it's an interesting question that I will have to see if there's a way for me to tweak the defense mechanisms. I hope that nobody plans. I hope that we can clear up any misunderstanding to where I'll have at least a couple days before anybody attacks me again.
I also hope that something like this doesn't happen anytime soon.
Again, she doesn't use the word attacks. She'll say something like, somebody gets grumpy, or somebody something that she will not use the word attacks, though. And it's clear that she's, there is a bit of coldness in her talking about it, right? She's clearly doesn't bear any ill will. It's more
Peggy
confusion than anything, where she's not understanding why, the events transpired that did. But it's also more of a curiosity than it is a upsettedness or anything like that, right? So she's clearly not upset, but she's just trying to figure out what's the best way to go about handling it. She seems disappointed that this happened, but from the perspective of like a hotel manager where a guest has a bad experience, they're like, okay, how can I make sure that doesn't happen again, type of thing.
And you're an automaton, and you can work enchantments at the same time.
Yeah, so she says that does make me rather unique amongst my kind. She's not entirely sure. She doesn't have a true understanding of how her master brought her into existence. It was simply just like waking up one day with a list of operations to perform, right? And that's how it was until
Peggy 3.
He was destroyed, and then at that point, that's where what you would, because you asked about sentience, Xian, is that right?
We both did.
Okay, so at that point, that's where there was kind of a release of what you would call sentience that took place, where I was able to then make decisions, but I found myself still able to, manipulate the ether, which is what she calls, what you would call doing magic, essentially.
Interesting.
Yeah, at this point, Gib is thinking about what he learned. He's not sure what else he would ask.
Sure. Oh man, you got to give me that picture, Mar. I guess she's not here, but.
I'll ask Bethania if she wants to do anything with her life, other than just being a bandmate, I guess.
Sure. Yeah, she, at the thought of that, it takes a minute. And she says that she's very happy creating a safe space for people. And if at some point, something different happened, maybe. But right now, she's content with making sure people are safe and happy.
I see. All right.
Oh, I have another question about the enchantments. They are made to have us a secure and well-rested sleep and everything.
Yes.
If there was anything happening because our group members said that we weren't waking up when they
Yes.
joined us yesterday.
So what she'll explain to you is that the rooms, right? We have different people with different schedules here, and so we understand that like occasionally guards will come here if they're on different shifts in order to make sure that they get a good sleep during the day, and so the rooms are set up and the beds specifically are set up in a way that people are able to get a full night's what would be considered a full night's rest, a full and complete rest, even with the town bustling around them. I mean, the we're so close to the docks and we're sort of centrally located in town that sleeping from the hours of 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. would be almost impossible without these enchantments. And so the enchantments are set up in place to allow for people, regardless of the time of day, to get uninterrupted sleep and a full rest, and in a shorter period of time than what would be necessary. So like, for instance, you all were you were really only asleep for about 4 hours, when in reality it would take much longer than that to get what would be considered a full night's sleep, right? You didn't lose a day that way completely. But people here just think that we have well insulated walls. They don't necessarily know the details of what's happening. And so she does, she tells you that she feels that she can trust you guys to, keep their secret essentially. But it's much more about ensuring people get a good night's rest.
But it's still a bit concerning that when we are a group of friends here, that we cannot wake each other up.
If you were in danger, you would be able to be woken, is what she tells you. If there was danger, you would be able to be awoken. The whole point of the system is to not permit danger to enter the room. But if for whatever reason something did happen, you wouldn't even have to wake up your friends; they would be woken up. That's how the system is supposed to work, right?
And does that do the rooms consider us as a group like one guest, because we can enter each other's rooms? So
yeah, so it definitely essentially you're similar to if we had a family, right? Come, the family would be considered the guest, right? Your group, a rather large group, is considered the guest for both rooms, right? To where you're able to come and go as you please. The whole system is meant to be not seen or never used, right? It's simply meant to provide the most safe and comfortable environment for people. It is she acknowledges that it's an interesting conundrum, right? But it's part of the reason why, thankfully, when your friend attacked your other friend, there wasn't really anything that took place. Nothing really happened, right? Because it was two people within the guest group interacting with each other. And when that happens, I suppose there is a real...
So that wasn't like a danger for everyone else.
Right. But for the one that was being attacked, they woke up, right? They were able to wake up. They had their interaction with their friend, and then he went back to sleep. I believe that, and if you can check with him, and I'd love to know if it wasn't the case, but he should have been, fully rested upon waking, and hopefully his, shoulder wasn't too badly injured.
We will ask about that. It was.
But she will tell you that if your friends would rather be in a less safe environment, she can disable things, or you could, there are other there are other places to stay. But I would, she would be, you can tell that she's very loath to suggest that and doesn't think that that would be she hates the idea that she would, you know, cause you guys to leave over something that she has in place in order to provide safety, or so to where she's kind of conflicted, where she's willing to deactivate it if it's if it's of serious concern, but she doesn't think that's a good idea, especially because there was just a goblin raid and there's all sorts of stuff going on. Plus essentially it's most of these defense mechanisms were put into place after the do you remember the story about the chopper and all the
Yes,
yeah
5-year incident.
Yeah, so all of the late unpleasantness is what they call it, right? They really wanted to have at least one place in town be a sanctuary, an incredibly safe space for people to be able to, not have to worry about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we have heard questionable reputation of other inns in town, especially the hagfish.
Sure. She chuckles a bit at the mention of the hagfish. Hey, Mark, can you get me that picture?
Sorry, what?
Can you get me the picture that
What?
you have as your for some reason it's your chat icon, but it's not your. I was gonna update your character sheet with the picture.
Oh no. I have another picture that I'm gonna probably update it with that Sabina's helping me with.
Okay, got it.
I will change it later.
No problem. So yeah, so that's that's essentially what she'll tell you, right? Is that if that is what you want, or she can make one room secure and the other room can be deactivated, whatever you prefer.
Yeah, I think we have some people in our group that might be intimidated by those security measures.
The idea that it would be intimidating, she's kind of taken aback by. She's seems very concerned, begins kind of pacing back and forth.
So it takes away the control of the people, which make them uncomfortable.
Okay, so she can understand that. She remembers what it was like to not have control, or complete control. She's still, and so she says, yes, you let me know, and whatever you want, we'll make it happen.
Guess that's that. Bondi, anything you have to add?
I've answered most of my questions, yeah.
Oh, was that Shion? I'm sorry.
Oh, I said I got my questions answered.
Okay. Did you want to? Are you looking to do any more like autopsy stuff on her, Zaven, or?
No. She made. I got a good look inside through her skin when she made it see through.
Okay. With that, she says that she's going to go to the other room and get it repaired. But if you need anything, just let her know.
Of course. Thank you very much.
So the group that was... So I guess Daisy want to make sure that for Daisy, Lucian, Danny,
Mm-hmm.
and
Queso?
Queso. Yep. Which, as far as I know, most of you are just still downstairs chilling. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean,
I assume I'm just where everyone else is.
I would
You're
have gone over to Shayless while
okay.
everyone else was doing their stuff,
Okay.
and I would have asked Shayless if there was anywhere in town that I could get some pen and paper and anyone who delivers letters.
Yeah. She'll tell you. Unfortunately, one of the places that you could get it at is her father's store. Which is the general store, right? I'm sure that they'd be able to, but really, the church would be another place or the garrison. But once, in order to send a letter, you'd probably need to go to either the sheriff or I mean, you could do it at the docks, depending on how far that you need the letter to go. It really depends on where you want the letter to get to.
I need
But
it
the
to go east.
Okay. I mean, what she'd tell you is that really, for a a town the size of Sandpoint, excuse me, all of that stuff is going to happen via Magnamar, which is the sort of major city to the south, and so you would need to, go to the dockmaster or to the sheriff and provide them instructions, and then the next time there was uh, a caravan or a ship or whatever headed to Magnamar, it would go there, and then somebody at Magnamar would see the letter through.
So I must speak to the merchants then.
Somebody at the docks, yeah, one of the dock masters should be able to help you. Or again, the sheriff or somebody at the garrison.
I'll thank her, and this is all while the other conversations are going on. I'm gonna
Sure.
head out to the docks.
Okay.
Well, before I head to the docks, I'm gonna go see if I can get my hands on some pen and paper. I guess I'd have to go to the general store for that.
Sure. See a very gruff-looking man behind the counter with big meaty fists who doesn't seem like he's gotten a whole lot of sleep the last couple of days.
Oh no.
He kind of looks at you strangely.
Peculiarly.
No, strangely, and asks what doesn't have any clothes that'll fit the likes of you. But what can he help you with?
Hello, sir. I just need a bit of pen and paper and perhaps an envelope. I have a letter I need to send pretty urgently.
So he says that he's more than happy to get you some paper, but he's never heard of a pen and has no idea what that is.
A pencil, then, perhaps?
So he basically goes and gets some charcoal, right? Unless you want to use a quill and ink pot for marking the paper, essentially. And so he'll grab some and hand it to you. It's kind of like the piece is rather large, so he takes a couple pieces and rips them in half for you to make them a little bit more suitable to your size. And then takes a piece of charcoal and again breaks it in half and gives you both halves. So a little bit more wieldy for somebody your size. And he just says, this is not he'll ask who you're writing to.
I must need talk to my family. I haven't seen them in a long time, and I
Well,
have
he's
some questions.
certainly. He tells you that you're free to take these. He understands how important family can be, and that you should reach out to them because I'm sure that they're, eager to hear from you. And he just gives you the pen and the paper, or the pen and paper. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. How much do I owe you?
He says nothing, right? He says, family is important, and please.
I'm
It
gonna
would
give
be
him a big grin and reach up to try and shake his hand, and then I'll leave towards the dock.
okay. He goes down, shakes your hand, and tells you to make sure to write to your mother, and you can tell that he says that with some sadness, and wishes you on your way.
I wish you a great day, sir.
Okay. So you head to the docks.
Yeah, I'm gonna head to the docks, and I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna sit down, or like on a bench or on the ground next to the docks, and write my
Okay.
letter.
All right. You see that there's, the docks aren't anywhere near as busy as what they were before, but there's occasional ships that come in and out. You see, um, okay, you see a couple the most common ships that you see are logging ships, where it's clear that the lumber mill in town is back up and running. Most of the ships appear to be leaving. You don't really see anybody unloading anything. All of them appear to be under a much higher level of security scrutiny. The docks have quite a bit of guard activity, but yeah.
Okay. I'm going to once I'm finished writing my letter, I'm going to approach one of the ships and ask them if they're headed where they're headed.
Okay. So most of the ships will give names that you don't necessarily recognize. Are you looking for one that's headed to Magnamar specifically?
Oh, that would be a good first step.
Okay. So when about the third or fourth ship that you ask is a lumber shipment, they tell you that they're headed to Magnamar.
I'm gonna ask them if they can take a letter to Magnamar, if they'd be able to pass it to someone that can get it up the Yondabakari River.
Okay. I mean, that's right. I mean, that's the most. The answer is yes. The river. There are ferries that go up and down it regularly from Magnamar.
All right. I'm gonna ask him if if I give him a letter and pay him, if he could make sure that my letter gets to Nybor, which is up the river.
I mean, he tells you that he can't make a promise, right? He can, he kind of chews away the money and says, he can get it to the docks in Magnamar, which, can put it in the hands of the couriers there. And if you, write who the letter is to go to and the town that it's to go to, they will, he knows them to be honorable people. Hey, Damage, you're breathing into your mic a lot.
Why is it doing that?
I don't know, but it is.
Hold
Not that I not okay.
It's a lovely sound.
Right, exactly. It's a very
no, my fan's on, but it typically doesn't pick up my fan because I
that
do not breathe heavy at all.
why okay. Okay.
Hmm.
So yeah, so he tells you like he knows the couriers to be honorable people, and if as long as you give them the city and the person's name, they'll do everything that they can to deliver the letter. If the person's not there, you know, they might not get it. But
Okay.
it'll get to the
I'll
place at the very least.
ask him how much it would cost to send the letter.
You know, to where did you say it was going to?
It needs to go up to Nybor, which is upriver of Magnamar.
Yeah, how you spell Nybor?
Nybor.
Let's see just how far up. It's about 4. It's not that far. Probably 50 silver. Should be plenty. Actually, more like 20 silver.
I'll pull out my money and look through it, and I'll be like, "Do you have any change?"
Sure. Yeah, it's no problem. 10 to 1. If you give him a gold, get back 80 silver.
Okay. I'll give him a gold because I only have 9 silver pieces.
Okay.
And you said I get back
80 silver.
80.
Wait, no, that's not right.
Wrong
it's
math.
10 to 1. Yeah, 10 to
So
1.
yeah, one
So
gold
actually, I
is
guess it would be
10
2 silver. It would cost 2 silver, so you get back 8 silver. Yeah, I was thinking Dungeons and Dragons math, but yeah, so you get back. If you give him 1 gold, you'll get back 8 silver. Or you can just give him 2 of your 9 silver. That might, yeah.
Yeah, I'll give him 2 of my 9 silver.
Okay.
And say thank him and walk along the harbor on my way back to the inn.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. All right, so those of you who are in the forest, you decided to make your way back. Yes.
Yep.
I believe so.
Yep.
Okay. So, are you going back to the inn?
Yeah, we're going back to the group.
Okay. You get back to the Rusty Dragon. You see, let's see, Lucian, Shayless, and Cal. No, not Cal. Queso. And I believe Daisy. They're all at your table.